So, as a former educator, let me say that I am absolutely in agreement with you that the discussion around the bell curve can be provocative, especially when it comes to how we utilize it, when it comes to academics, placement being predictive of someone's success in the future. And I believe it's a piece that has been under constant consideration, and that's going to continue to grow. When we also think about the topic of intelligence, as you mentioned, it's also relying on a very Western construct of what intelligence means and looks like in practicality. So, I think one of the challenges that we face when we're looking at the bell curve and using it to guide our decisions when working with students in the example that you suggested is it's important for us to understand the limitations through which the data that we're looking at and consider normative has been referenced, and then being able to say to ourselves, is there any other context that we need to keep in mind with how this child is displaying? Right. And so we have someone from another country that comes over and we give them a test of intelligence based on Western populations of students, largely for the most part, and then put them alongside of that, it absolutely may misread them. And then you take into context any kind of barriers. When we think about where we are now in COVID and the number of students who are learning in a very different way than ever before, they're not getting the same kind of classroom instruction. I really believe we're going to end up having to go back to the drawing table and figuring out how can we have adequate and appropriate data that really guides where we need to go, because those students are going to have developmental gaps as well as trauma that can impact academics and how their intelligence, for example, shows up. So completely agree. Got me really excited. I'll stop here because I could probably talk about this all day. But thank you for the rich conversation.